This breach is in a zoo. Wow. You know, I'm endlessly fascinated by animals. A bit like walking plants, eh? Except with more, you know, fluids. Ugh, what a word that is.
You've picked a bad day for a stroll in the park. Something's got into the animals. They're running wild. Frenzied. I don't suppose you saw an Indrik on your way here. A tame one? She's my charge, and pride of the Queen's menagerie. I need to find her. The Royal Menagerie. It holds exotic species from all over Tamriel. Now they're running loose, attacking the keepers and each other. It's a slaughter. It's too dangerous for a gentle Indrik like Lotus. Please, can you help me search for her? Oh, Lotus has only ever known kindness. Gentle as a lamb. I hand-reared her from birth. She fled in the chaos, but she won't make it on her own. I have to find Lotus before she's hurt. Or worse. This is the only place she's ever known. She won't have wandered far. I hope. I wasn't at the epicenter of it all. I was about to feed Lotus when I started hearing the animals in a frenzy, yowling and slamming against their pens. Once the mammoths broke free, the whole place came apart at the seams. Total pandemonium. Indriks vaguely resemble deer, but you'd never mistake the two. Their horns and antlers sparkle like crystal, and their fronds and feathers are vibrant in any light. When Jeffers spun their shape, he made a tapestry of all life. I raised her from a fawn, watched her grow up. I can't imagine losing her this way. And the Queen would never forgive me. She and Lotus were inseparable, until the duties of the crown called her away. I made a vow to care for Lotus in her stead. A gift from the sovereign to his daughter when she was barely knee-high. Before she became queen, Her Highness spent many a day frolicking through the royal menagerie with Lotus. Hard to imagine now, I know. I didn't see anyone else come this way, but I hope the others made it to safety. I'd rather not dwell on the alternative. If anyone's still in peril, we should lend our aid. Where are you going? The park is the other way. Leaving already? I'll wait for you here. Lotus wouldn't be out this far. We should go back.
A breach near the sea. Ah, I do love the ocean. It's a shame you can only see it in 3 dimensions. All the quasitones and endless number forms. Actually, I take it back. Your meat brain would explode if you saw this.
Great hammer! Destroy these fools! battle belongs to you, but wait until next time!
had to kill her. Vereda didn't just up and die at the tender age of 28.
Stop squawking, you fat netch! You're just as likely the one that killed her.
I did this then? When you're the one greedier than a starving hawker?
This is going nowhere. We'll never find the treasure if we keep killing each other.
You walk in here on 3 skeevers arguing over a dead body and decide you want to chat with one of them? You either got some kind of guts or you're some kind of stupid. Either way, maybe you can help. A family squabble of sorts. You see, one of these ghosties went and killed Vereda. Problem is, none of us are about to go treasure hunting. There's a murderer at our back. I'm killing for gold. You don't stop at one. Or so I hear. Ancestor of ours, Jadil the Keelhauler, cached her loot around here. If you grab the chest for us, there's no chance for a sneak attack. The map over there will lead you right to it. And obviously, I'll pay you for the trouble. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Look at these squabbling fools. Why don't I just take the treasure myself? Tough like that. The only thing that will crack the chest open is the blood of Jadil's descendant. Thus, you'll need one of us. I'm known as Igeki Ratbite. It would serve you well to not forget that name, given that I'll one day have a legacy as epic as Jadil herself. You saw my face, right? I got bit by a rat. It was a big rat. Don't worry, it's dead now. She was an explorer, sailed from Atmora all the way to Yakura, despite half her crew falling mad along the way. She discovered new lands, new cultures. Shame so few hear of her. Her greatest adventure was raiding the palace of King Ognum himself. Right you are. Fled Piandonea after, quick as a flash. Pa said the whole Miramore fleet came after her. Eventually, they chased her right to this cove. She fled to the shore, clutching a single chest of treasure. Buried it before making her way back home. The blood of my blood willingly given. That's how the enchantment goes. You see, Jadil wanted to settle down, have a few brats of her own. So, the story was passed along, waiting for a descendant adventurous enough to set sail.
Another one? You there! Come here! I bet you've come here for an Aurealis bloom. Well, tough luck, fresh out. Last one was nabbed a fortnight ago. Come back in about a year. Maybe I'll have another one by then. Why else would you come here? The view? You know, once you could get an Aurealis anywhere. Now it's all but gone, blotted out of existence by the greed of artists. You heard me. As soon as they learned it made a pretty paint, that was it. Didn't care that it takes over a year to grow, and that's only with proper care. No, they had to have it. And so they took, and now there's nothing left. What are you, deaf? Or just scared to go back empty-handed? Look, I told you that plant is gone. Go find another bloom for your fancy painting. Off with you now. Just leave me and my garden be. Off with you now. I have a lot to do, and you're not helping by stomping about my delicate plants. What are you? Some sort of monster? Can't leave a plant on the brink of extinction alone? Can't let the rest of Summerset enjoy its natural beauty? All for some paint? Fine. I have one left, under the basket there, but you can't take it. Of course I did. Why would I let you have one of the last, if not the last, surviving blooms? If you take that plant, the species may be wiped out for good. Did you ever, in your obsession with paint, think about what you're taking from Summerset? Yes! That's what I've been saying all along. You're about to uproot what could be the last Aurealis on Summerset and grind it up for some painting. How could you do something so horrible? You really want to take the chance? I'm telling you, I've searched all over this island. This is the only one I could find. In less than a year, it will spread seeds. I'll nurture them, help rekindle the species. Please, just don't do this. Oh, your word, is it? Well, I suppose I'm honored then. To think I'd meet someone whose word ranks higher than an entire species. You're no better than Verilel. Just take your foul harvest and leave.
So? Were you able to find Jadir's treasure? Huh. I always imagined it a tad... bigger. Well, if it's stuffed with diamonds, I guess it doesn't much matter what size the box is. Thanks for grabbing it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to crack this beauty open. Now, let's see what we're working with here.
Can't you bleed any faster, Igeki?
Indeed, my being roils with anticipation.
What the? There's just a scroll in here! I sailed across many seas and raided many ships, but the most precious treasure is family. May you see the wisdom in these words.
What? I came all this way for nothing? I can't believe I poisoned Vereda for a stupid scroll!
Hold a moment. You killed Vereda? But I was the one who strangled her right after she fell asleep.
Neither of you are making any sense! I stabbed her! Right after we doused the fire!
Wait, did we all kill Vereda to get a bigger share of the treasure?
Ha! I suppose betrayal runs in the family. Ta!
Leaving already? Where are you going? The park is the other way. I'll wait for you here. Indrix sometimes graze on these trees. Look around and let me know if you find anything. What did you find there? I don't see any sign of her here. Did you find anything? Stars! I've seen wild mammoths charge the enclosure walls, but they usually give up pretty quickly. I've never seen one driven to battering itself to death. Not by anger, not even by panic. That would be an explanation, but it came on so suddenly. It seemed to afflict all the animals at once. Except Lotus. She was spooked, but not aggressive. I hope that's still the case. Right. Let's head further inside. Maybe we can pick up a trail. Find something? I don't see any new tracks. She didn't try returning to the enclosure. Find anything that might put us on her trail? Huh. Let me see that. Smells off. Starting to turn color, too. It shouldn't have gone bad so quickly. I've never seen an animal react so violently to spoiled food, and nothing this tainted would have passed our inspections. I think something was added, probably close to feeding time. No, it couldn't be. We care for these animals like they were our kin. No one I know would harm one of these poor creatures, let alone do something like this. No, thank the gods. I'd just deposited it here when the trouble started. I don't think she'd graze on any now that it's become foul. But I'd rather not risk it. We should keep searching. you hear that? Someone's in trouble. This way!
Charge!
Thought I was a goner. Those lions crept up on me while I was distracted. Thought I was done for.
What are you still doing here?
Who are you, anyway? Some friend of Talamar's? He came back to find Lotus? I know he takes his duties seriously, but that's insane. I think I saw her drinking by the reflecting pool, but she's skittish. Bolted the second she saw me passing by. Good luck catching her. No thanks. I appreciate the help, but I'm not sticking around to herd Indrix in this mess. I'm getting out of here before I wind up something's lunch. You should do the same. Good luck with your Indrik hunt, Talamar. Try not to get killed.
Elise, wait! We need to stay together! Damn it. Let's hope we have better luck with Lotus. There she is! Lotus! After her!
Talamar.
Lotus!
So, you managed
easy,
to
girl.
teach it some
I'm here.
discipline after all. The Royal Menagerie is closed to the public at the moment. What are you doing here? His Indrik? You mean the royal family's Indrik? Every animal here is property of the crown. He would be wise to remember that before his personal attachment interferes with his duties. Regardless, your search is over. She'll be secured in the inner paddocks until order is restored. This act of sabotage will not be easy to recover from. You claim you arrived after the incident? I believe you. Whoever drugged today's feed supply knew too much about our procedures to have been an outsider. You may go, but I want you off my grounds. Talamar can escort you out, since watching Lotus seems too much for him. Talamar, take your new friend here and get off my grounds. The Rangers will take things from here.
But Lotus... Yes, Conservator. Sorry about all this. I just want you to know that even if the Conservator doesn't appreciate your efforts, I am truly grateful for your help. Conservator Vinalora. She's the appointed curator of the Royal Menagerie. All the keepers and rangers serve at her pleasure. I wouldn't take it personally. She's not one for niceties under the best of circumstances. If she really believes a keeper is responsible for sabotaging the menagerie, I can't say I blame her. I can hardly believe it, but it's the only explanation that makes any sense. Gods, no! I've worked with everyone here for decades. I just hope Vinalora catches the monster. Thank you again for helping me keep Lotus from harm.
Over here. We need to talk.
Elise? I thought you had already left. What are you doing sulking around here?
I didn't want to get you too involved, but I need help and there's no one else I can turn to. I was the one who drugged the animals. The plan wasn't for them to break loose, just stir up a fuss so I could slip into the conservatory unnoticed. Evidence. The menagerie is a facade. The ugly truth behind Sylvar Woad isn't so pretty. There are entire sections blocked off from most of the keepers. Vinalora and her rangers guard them like a vault. The animals they take there never come back. People who question Vinalora don't last here. If she claims the animal is a risk of some kind, it's just quarantined in the inner paddock, never to be seen again. Something terrible is going on, and I mean to expose it. Help me prove that. It's going to take a lot more convincing for Talamar, I can tell. I don't know that he'll ever forgive me for the mess I've made here, but maybe you can get him to hear me out? I'm a spy for the Queen. I mean, I was a keeper first, but when the Queen asks you to serve, you serve. She asked me to keep an eye on Vinalora before she left for her coronation, but the Conservator has stonewalled my advancement. To her, I'm just some uppity Nebara trying to rise above my station. But once it became clear I wasn't going to get into her good graces, I had to improvise. We see how well that turned out. Yeah, I'm not going to let the Queen down. I gave her my word. All I know is, healthy animals are disappearing, and her story doesn't add up. She could be selling them to wealthy Altmer to line her own pockets, or even butchering them to sell their parts to craft workers. I don't know. More than anything, I want to make sure it wasn't all for nothing. If I can find the proof that Vinalora is abusing these animals, then maybe it will have been worth it, and Talamar can at least understand why I took the risk I did.
She poisoned all these animals. She almost poisoned Lotus. And for what? It's true that I've never seen an animal move to the inner paddocks that's returned to outer enclosures, but she's suggesting what? That the Conservator is culling the herd? I mean, this is a crisis. Lotus is the prize of the menagerie. She wouldn't... This is insane, you know that? What do you need from me? It's a bit morbid, but I would search the bodies by the staff quarters near the main entrance. One of Vinalora's rangers might have had a key. All right, Elise, I'll help you. But if we don't find anything unusual in the conservatory, I'm turning you over to Vinalora myself.
Deal. If I'm crazy, go ahead and turn me in. But you know there's something going on here, Talamar.
Let's just get this over with. Did you find the keys? I'm being...
Ew! What's that smell? It's coming from over here. I knew they were up to something here. Smells awful. Alchemical. This equipment isn't incriminating enough on its own, though. Vinalora could justify it for medicinal uses. We need to find evidence that can't be explained away so easily. Samples, records, a test subject. Anything that proves without a doubt that the animals here are being used for something other than conservation. There's probably more upstairs. Hey, what are you reading over there? You found something important, didn't you? I could read it on your face from across the room. What's in those papers? Vinalora, you piece of... This is everything I need to prove she's been abusing her position here. I have to get this to the Proxy Queen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he deserves to know. Let's find him and get out of here before our luck runs out. This should be all I need. Where did Talimar wander off to?
Disobedience doesn't suit you, Talimar. Uncooperative animals don't last long here.
What have you done with Lotus, you monster?
I'd be more concerned for yourself right now. Try something rash, and Talimar will sprout an arrow from the eye. You've all caused me enough trouble for one day. They're a very special beast. Revered, even, as blessed beings who are as graced by the gods as we Ultima. They are a gift to our people, not found anywhere else in the world, and we have squandered their potential too long. Maintaining our natural primacy, what else? The mongrels of Tamriel infest everything, even our unspoiled isles now. But their overgrowth can be curbed. They only need a natural predator. The Indrics will be our immortal Adric Avengers. You're in no position to stop me. This enclosure is as strong as a fortress, and these barriers are impenetrable by even the Indric's effortless teleportation. Surrender before my... What was that? No! The wards! The Indrics will run wild! Elise! I should have known you'd be behind this!
Good luck containing your experiments. We'll give your regards to the Queen.
This isn't over, mongrel! You'll all
Talimar!
pay for this!
Vinalora must have been more shaken than she looked. She didn't hit anything vital, far as I can tell. I don't usually work on people, but if I can stitch up feuding Achater, I can handle this. You can't be serious. There's nothing stopping Lotus from escaping on her own now. We've got what we need to bring Vinalora down. There's no reason to risk your life. He's lucky to have found someone as foolish as he is. At least take my ward breaker, in case Vinalora reactivates the cages. I'll get Talamar out of harm's way. Good luck, all right? Hang on, Talamar. We'll get you out of here.
I've been wanting to see how the latest serum performs in live tests. Let's find out.
Lotus! She's all right! Thank Zephyr! Oh, thank you!
Damn it, Talamar! You're going to reopen that wound.
It's so good to see Lotus alive and well. I couldn't stop thinking of her, scared and injured, or worse. If Vinalora had turned her into some kind of monster, I swear! We should flee before Vinalora and her rangers come after us. Gods, that's terrible. I won't shed tears over Vinalora. She had to be stopped. But I'm so sorry you have her blood on your hands. I guess this is the end of the royal menagerie. With the conservator gone, there's no one in charge of trying to get this place back in order. It'll all come apart by the time the proxy queen allocates a replacement. If she allocates a replacement. Me? Run the menagerie? I'd love to see it put back the way I remember it. But will it ever be the same now that I know what was really happening here? I could just take Lotus and put all this behind us. Yes, I know myself well enough to know I would be miserable just abandoning this place. I've poured so much of my life into it. Maybe I can do some good here, change the way these animals are treated. These animals deserve better than to be left to fend for themselves. I owe them that much. I'll do everything I can for them. You have my word. Don't suppose I could declare it a wildlife preserve and leave the animals to roam freely, could I? I'm going to have my work cut out for me getting this place back in order. I'll take Lotus and try to find other survivors who escaped the chaos. Convincing them to return won't be easy, but I'm certain I can get at least a few other keepers and rangers to follow my lead. After that, a whole lot of wrangling. She's gone, and their operation is in shambles. I don't see why they'd stick around. But I'll be sure to burn their research at the first opportunity. Nothing like that will ever happen again under my watch. Wild Indrics are aggressive towards things they perceive as threats. Even if Vinalora hadn't given them her vile serums, they couldn't have been happy about being penned up like cattle. There may be hope for them, if the legends are true. It is said that when Indrik die, their souls don't leave Mundus. Instead, Jeffra plants them back into the land to sprout again as reborn fawns. If it's true, you think they remember their old lives? I like to believe Lotus will remember me. Then I do hope they forgive us for her transgressions. I'll do my best to make it up to any others I meet. She endangered every living thing here with the stunt she pulled. It'll be days before we know the final toll of stopping Vinalora. I know Elise did this for the right reasons, but I don't know that I can forgive her for all this bloodshed. That's what makes it hard. Everything worked out for me. It's not my grudge I'm holding on to. It's theirs. All those innocent lives. She's a good person, but I'm going to need time.
Hold, courier. I would like to have a word, if you would. You know, I've heard quite a bit about your little venture to acquire Tindoria's supplies for her latest sketch, and I must say I'm impressed. You've certainly proven capable. I have a proposition for you. Sell those supplies to me instead. Well, I could speak to how those supplies would be used in the service of art that touches the soul of mer and man. But I feel my words would not move you, so let's try another venue, shall we? I'll double whatever payment Tindoria has offered. Me do such a thing? As I told dearest Brodrin, it was Tindoria who sought to drive him to ruin. Why, I adore the little woodland elf. Tindoria has tricked you, my friend. Then someone she paid to incriminate me, no doubt. This game we play is one with many twists. Tindoria has simply made sure to be one step ahead this time. Sell me those supplies, and I'll even make sure to compensate Brodrin for the trouble. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Such wonderful colors wasted on such a forgettable piece. I am a purveyor of the divine, my friend. Cannot blame me for trying. Off with you, then. I shall defeat my rival the old-fashioned way, with talent.
At last you return, and with my reagents! Come, I simply must see them. My genius is like a stallion waiting to be set free. Complication? A fine way to refer to Veyralel. Oh, don't look so surprised. I can still smell that insufferable perfume of his. Yet here you are, which tells me you must have seen through his charade. Now, what of my supplies? Why, that's just wonderful, isn't it? I now possess the last Aurealis plant on Summerset. Oh, the others will be so jealous when they hear of this. To know my masterpiece will immortalize such a beautiful shade of orange. It's poetic, grandiose. Oh, that scoundrel! Brodrin is a good mer, and he loves those bugs like his own children. This is intolerable news. How will I do without my sea grey? No, I cannot allow this. I will send Brodrin alone to cover this year's livestock. Oh, wonderful! I hoped she'd like it. I do wish she'd return to the city instead of living in that backwater swamp. Though perhaps something good can be said for her isolation, as she's created such a lovely teal. And here is your payment, as contracted. I am pleased you chose to honor our arrangement instead of siding with that scoundrel. Oh, I see it now. You're the perfect subject for my masterpiece. Your shining loyalty, your pure heart. Perfect. Your visage upon my canvas shall be viewed for centuries, I'm sure. Why, maybe one day it will be featured in a gallery with the Queen herself. It's really very generous of me. You're quite welcome. Oh, just a quick sketch then, to capture your essence. I simply must make sure I get the eyes right. There, that should serve well enough.
Right here.
Mastering.
A good suit of...
Kude. Oko. Rekuta. 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 Kude. Oko. Rekuta.
What was the Sylvanar's advisor? The one who died. Terrible shame.
He ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout. Red diamond, the heart and soul of man. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing hearts break love for a gout and seal of death. And like a dark shot to its mind, finding an alien well. Magic of fuse, the Lord and blood to crystal red and
Well,